But let me stress now that the nature of what we are dealing with means that these proposals cannot be set in stone. We will conduct formal reviews at least every 3 weeks to assess if and to what extent we can move from one phase to the next, but we will be constantly alive to when we can go faster or indeed whether we have gone too far. It may be that we can't do everything in a particular phase at the same time. A single phase may span more than one review period. Some measures may be lifted earlier than planned and some later. And I'm sure that everyone watching will want to know what changes will be made as we move to phase 1. But first, a word of caution. Not every phase 1 measure will necessarily be introduced immediately on the 28th of May. Some may be introduced a few days after that. And depending on the evidence, it is possible that some may have to be postponed, though I very much hope that won't be the case. But let me set out now some of the likely changes in phase 1. More outdoor activity will be permitted. You will be able to sit or sunbathe in parks and open areas, and you will be able to meet people from one other household, although initially in small numbers, while you are outside. This is a change that we hope will benefit everyone, but particularly those without gardens and people who live on their own. It is important to stress, though, that different households should remain 2 metres apart from each other. That is critical in ensuring that this change doesn't provide the virus with easy routes of transmission. And because of the much higher risk of indoor transmission, visiting inside each other's houses will not be permitted in phase 1. Some non-contact outdoor leisure activities will be allowed to restart, such as golf, tennis, bowls and fishing, subject of course to appropriate hygiene and physical distancing. In addition, people will be able to travel, preferably by walking or cycling, to a location near their local community for recreation, although we are asking people where possible to stay within or close to their own local area. Waste and recycling services will resume, as will many outdoor businesses such as agriculture and forestry. The construction industry will be able to carefully implement steps 1 and 2 of its 6-step restart plan, which it has developed with us. However, let me be clear that there must be genuine partnership with trade unions. This can only be done if it is done safely. These phase 1 measures, most of which have an outdoor focus, are not in place yet, let me stress that, and they are dependent on us continuing to suppress the virus. They will also be monitored carefully as they do take effect. However, we view them as a proportionate and suitably cautious set of first steps, and I hope that they will bring some improvement to people's well-being and quality of life, start to get our economy moving again, and start to steer us safely towards a new normality. I can confirm that we are planning to allow universities and colleges to have a phased return next term with a combination of remote learning and some limited on-campus learning. On schools and early learning and childcare, we have published today the report of the Education Recovery Group, which is chaired by the Deputy First Minister and includes representatives of councils, parent and teacher organisations and trade unions. Through this approach, we have reached an agreed position that will help us build confidence amongst pupils, parents and teachers about a safe return to formal schooling. Teachers and other school staff will return during June to prepare classrooms for the new term and a different model of learning. During June and over the summer, an increased number of children will have access to critical childcare, such as has been provided for the children of key workers during lockdown. And we will provide, where possible, transition support for children going into primary 1 or children moving from primary 7 to secondary school. From the 11th of August, all schools will reopen. However, to allow appropriate physical distancing, children will return to a blended model of part-time in school and part-time at-home learning. Childminders can reopen during phase 1, and over the summer, all early years childcare providers will reopen subject to necessary health measures. Capacity will be prioritised for children of key workers, early learning and childcare entitlement and children in need. And the Care Inspectorate will provide further guidance in due course. Now, these arrangements will not represent a complete return to normality by August, but we judge them to be the most sensible and safe approach we can plan for at this stage. To reflect the fact that children will still be doing part of their learning at home, we are also going to invest a further £30 million to provide laptops for disadvantaged children and young people to enable them to study online.